When the sequence is arithmetic, okay, what you're adding each time is called the common difference, okay? When the sequence is, it's what's being added. Okay, when the sequence is geometric, what's being multiplied is called the common ratio. So you don't even have to write arithmetic or geometric. Just by labeling your pattern thing, either R or D, that tells me if it's arithmetic or geometric, okay? So if it's arithmetic, we use D, common difference. And if it's geometric, we use R, common ratio, okay? So for 7, is that one have a common difference or a common ratio? Common ratio. And what is it?
6.
Good. So I'd say R equals 6. And the fact that you labeled it R already tells me geometric without you having to write the word out, right? What about for 8? Geometric. And what is the common difference?
Wait, I have no clue.
You just like
Swap those
Minus 100.
oh right.
Wait.
Oh, I'm bad. I'm bad.
Positive 16 minus 100 is negative 84. Good?
Yes.
What about number 9? Does it have a common difference, a common ratio, or neither? Common difference, common ratio, or neither?
No.
It has a common difference. Add 20. You guys are doing good, but some of you are struggling with your negatives a little. That's all right. What about 10?
This one's geometric.
Heck yeah, it is.
Yep.
And what is that common ratio?
5.
Nailing it. Hey, we just saw our first one that has a common difference that's negative. Do you think it's possible to have a common ratio that's negative? Yeah, it just would mean that every other term in the sequence is positive to negative, right?
That sucks.
Okay. All right, so now let's build these. Okay, so it gave me the first, n is 1, so it gave me a sub 1 is 2. So then what would the next one be? Good job. Do we need to do another building recursive sequence given a formula? Can I keep
I don't know what that means.
building
Oh.
a recursive sequence given a formula? You sure? Okay. It is what we did at the beginning, but this time they gave you a formula. Okay, I feel like you guys are doing good. I don't know.
Is the one that B is that 7, 6, 5, 1, 6, 5?
Yep. Just shout this out. I don't know if we need to spend, I feel like you guys are doing good. I want to go to the harder part of the lesson, but just by looking at this formula on 1 here, can you tell me, is it geometric or arithmetic? Arithmetic, because it's minus 2. Good. So that one would be arithmetic, and its common difference would be negative 2. This one is geometric, right? Because it's times 4, so that would have a common ratio of 4. You can build the first 4 terms if you'd like. I don't know if we need to. Raise your hand if you want another example of writing the formula. Anyone want another example of writing the formula? Okay, let's do one more example of writing the formula. If I'm looking at 5 here, first I have to decide if it's arithmetic, geometric, or neither. Okay. On this one, it looks like I minus 5, then minus 5, then minus 5. So it's the same pattern each time, right? So I know for sure, no matter what type of formula it is, I give the first term. And then I write my a sub n, so that's like my specific term. To find that, I take my previous term and minus 5 each time. Yeah.
Do we have to, like, as part of our answer, should we add the D or something?
No. Mm-mm. Only if it specifically asks. This one doesn't say to write the common difference. It just says write a formula using the common difference. Does that make sense? Okay, so this one is a good one to show you the example of the common ratio being negative. Because do you see how that's the only way for it to switch from a negative, positive, right? So this one would be a sub 1 is negative 3. A sub n is the previous term times negative 2. 3 to 6 times 2. Good? Okay, let's go to the last part. I feel like this last part, to find a missing common difference. Okay? So first thing you need to do is decide how many times the common difference was added up. Okay? So on this one, to find this one here, how many times did I add the common difference to get from negative 15 to 1? Twice. So 2 times my common difference plus negative 15. I'm going to write this different. I think it'll make more sense. Hold on. A way to write an equation of this same example A here is like saying negative 15 plus my common difference, and then my common difference again is going to equal the 1. Does that make sense? You with me? Okay, so now let's just solve this equation. So 2D is 16.
It's 8.
8 is the common difference, but careful, that's not what the question asks, right?
Find the missing term.
Find the missing term. So then it would be negative 15 plus 8, so negative 7. So to find a missing common difference, you set up equation. I feel like what I want to write here is not going to make any sense, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll make sense. Set up equation with how many times the D was added. Does that make sense to you? It does? Oh, sweet. So how many times was the D added on this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Everybody okay with that? So 4 plus 5D is 6. Oh, thank you. That's a big one. So what's the common difference on this one? 2, but now I'm going to use that 2 to find my missing terms. So negative 2, 0, 2, 4, 6. Is that all right? Yeah, of today. Common ratio, similar thing, except for I'm not adding the unknown thing each time. What am I doing? Multiplying. So this time when you set up your equation, set up equation with how many times R was multiplied. So on this one, R was multiplied twice, right? So 9180 times R is 255. Yeah.
Does that make 9,180 times r squared?
Yep. So then you can, eventually you'll have to square root on your calculator.
Miss Summers,
Yeah.
I'm just confused why there's two R's when there's only one like empty space, and like in the last one why there was 5 instead of 4.
Okay, good. There's 4 empty spaces, but if I look here, to get from negative 15 to the empty space, I had to add D, right? Let me show you some, it might help.
So you count the number before.
You kind of have to count the commas in between. Whitney, look at this here. You see how there's 3 terms here? I times by 4 once to get from 1 to 4, right? And then to get from 4 to 16, I had to times again. So even though there's only one missing spot, to get from here to here and then here to here, I had to times by 4 twice.
Okay.
Does- So each comma is like representing when the pattern, the common difference, or the common ratio had to be applied. Does that make sense? Okay. Did anybody, so you divided by the 9180? Yeah? And then square rooted?
Yeah.
You solving that equation right now?
Yeah. It's 1/6.
It's 1/6? So in an equation, before I can square root, you have to divide the 9180 on both sides. So then r squared is something.
R squared is 136.
Or if you left it as a decimal, I'm fine with that too. Here's the only issue with this one. So r is 1/6, right? Or again, you can leave it as a decimal, but we're missing one thing here though. The thing?
The space.
We're missing the missing term, sure, but when I square root,
Oh, plus.
positive or negative. And the last thing I want to explain is, do you see how I don't have enough information to tell me if this middle number should be positive or negative? So there's actually 2 possible common ratios, 1/6 and negative 1/6. Does that make sense? Okay, so then when I divide that by 6 first, what do you get?
1530.
1530 or negative 1530? You guys doing okay?
Still not homework, we'll put the positive and the negative answer.
Yep.
I think this was the hardest part of our lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the other.
Oh, I just meant this page. Okay, let's do it again. Set up my equation. 5 times what? R squared is 2.8125. R is 3/4 or negative 3/4. So our missing term is 3.75 or negative 3.75.
What time is it?
You guys can't just like leave.
I'm not putting his books back.
All right.
It's not supposed to be in here.
Do you guys want one more of these? Are we good, or do you want one more?
Do one more.
One more? One more. Okay. How many times am I going to times by r for this one? 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 times r to the 4th is 768. So r to the 4th is 256. So r is 4 or negative 4. I did the 4th root of 256. You guys not know how to do that?
That makes sense.
On your calculator, you put the 4 in first, and then go to math. And do you see where it says x root down there on number 5? You press that. The other option is, remember, the 4th root is the same thing as a 1/4 exponent. You can do it either way. Good? Abby, good? Yep. Okay, so then that means my missing terms are going to be, if r is 4, it'll be 12 and then 48 and then whatever 48 times 4 is.
192.
Thank you. Or negative 12, positive 48, and negative 192. Good? Okay. Okay, let's go to the word problems. I think these are